Hey there, Pisces. This is Joy with Joy of the World, here to take an intuitive peek into the energies going on around you. Friends and subscribers, welcome back. And if you're new to this channel, be sure you click that subscribe button and ring the bell. They'll notify you anytime I post new videos. Also, if you find you like the content we provide here at Joy of the World, be sure to give us a big thumbs up, like, and share. And to those friends who've given donations into the channel, thank you from the bottom of my heart. I've used it to buy 4 new decks that'll be shipping in from Scotland, hopefully before the readings for next week. As for now, Pisces, there's some interesting stuff going on. Not too sure what to make of it. Hadn't really spent time with it, so we're going to take a deeper look, okay? So first, we're going to start here with ascending and descending. This, it seems to be that you're not really going anywhere, right? If it's on its side and it's ascending and descending, then that means up and down. But if it's going this way, you're going sideways, laterally. It's like you're wearing yourself down, pacing the road. Okay, so you're pacing. So you're nervous. And let's see what you were nervous about. What you were nervous about is movement. Number 28. Finding partnership through divine connection. Now, the divine has been talking to you, whatever it is that they're saying, and it's calling to you about your happiness, finding the land to which you belong. Ostrich don't flourish everywhere they go. I'm sure they could, but wouldn't they rather be happy in their natural home? Let me move that up. I'm taking a step forward into what that is. There is a path that will start to rise up and show for you. And as it does, the ground becomes more fertile. Even though it seems like the sun is behind you and you're missing it, it's that it's rising and taking the forward motion for another day. Don't be deceived, because it is going forward. Your destiny is calling you forward. And it's the reason why you feel like you could be getting a little bit ahead of yourself is, number one, you're not quite sure where you're going. The winds seem to keep changing and blowing, and you don't know exactly what to trust, which would make sense why you're not going this way. You're pacing. You're pacing. You're pacing. You're pacing. You're pacing. You're pacing. You're following the wind. Well, let's get that windmill off your back. Let's get that indecision off your back. It's like trusting yourself has become an issue. And your mind is becoming a bit stagnant and slow when the wind wants to move quite quickly. And you're scared of what that is, because quickly to you means overnight. Well, basically, at some point, it will eventually be overnight. But they're talking about moving forward stepwise, that it has some layers and some time to transfer through, because you're having to move through your chakras and allow this energy to move up. That's what they're talking about. Turn it up, Joy, so that it can ascend and descend. As you're putting out your signal and it's returning to you. You're putting out your signal and it's returning to you. That you are the homing mechanism, like the GPS on the map, that begins to make it clear and call in what this is up above it. So what we have here is fair man. Dealings or relationship with a man with blonde, gray, or white hair. I don't know what that's about, y'all. So let's get a card. Let's get a card. I mean, it doesn't look too cheerful, number one. I mean, it's more like ho-hum. Ho-hum. Okay. That's too many. First, let me recover those, and I'll be right back. What is happening? Okay. So we had to part the waters. Deal with the chaos in that energy, which is important because next comes the shock block. And I was like, okay, so what's blocking your chakra? I think we just got the lowdown here. Yeah. So this fair man, this indecision, this movement of pacing back and forth rather than facing what's coming in, is the Five of Swords. Here you're totally surrounded with wisdom, and that wisdom kind of harkens to responsibility of needing to be wise, make the right decision. Past bondages that you have, or bonds that you've had going on, that it's easier to sit here with all these eyes, and you don't want the eyes on you, is what you're saying. So you want to use the eyes to look out as to what's coming. But these are ones that are kind of, they're guarding and protecting you, and not necessarily in such a good way. There's a bit of possessing going on here. And so that wouldn't be the most accurate of information that you're getting. But down low, strangely enough, you've suppressed your heart. Okay, Pisces. So this is one of the times you've actually gone into a little bit of a suppressing energy of moving it back down beneath the table. Remember the two fish about messing with your cycle of energy, getting into that circle, the cycle that you can trust, right? Like that. Okay, the promise. And it's new life. It's the promise of new life coming. That's a bit of the fair man, the fairness going on is the heart rising up to where it belongs. But there's been that bit of a blockage going on here. And your eyes are sort of pleading. You're not looking at it directly. You're kind of looking just slightly up above it, not wanting to face it, because when your eyes come to level and you look right at it, that's when your heart's going to be drawn up into place. You're telling me to move on a bit to find out a bit more, because it's already started marrying in the chakra block, and that is some bondages, some old connections. That could be friends, that could be lovers, it could be all of it. It could be, old voices, God speak, from where your GPS map was going at a time, because this is letting me know there's been a bit of redirection, remember? Because before you were kind of like trying to travel like this, and how the heck does an ostrich move lying on its back, right? And now that you're getting the energy turned upright, moving in the proper flow and the proper direction that can be assisted by the Spirit, giving help, causing your dreams to come in here on earth as they are in heaven, awakening the pyramids. So it's pretty fantastic that you're doing it right now at the gate time when Sirius is aligned there, that is bringing it all down and homing it here, like homing pigeon, like magnetite, like that mechanism in the mind of like calling unto like. And that's what you were talking about, like that pump, that energy going up and coming back down, that message being sent out and received, and the connection being made. Okay, so up above it is nest. An emotionally secure, loving family is important to you. So remember over here, that was a blocking bond. That's not secure. That's not emotionally secure, especially not if it blocks your heart, and your heart gets suppressed down here. And you can see there was a wound or a scar there that went on. Although divine wound, it is now time to transcend that, is what you're saying. Okay, to transcend that nest. It's like newness, new eggs, new dreams, new generation, as we can see here coming in. And that leads to this one, the Queen of Discs. So they're saying what you once sowed in tears, you will now reap benefits. You will reap hard work, long travail. So much so, okay, so it talks about there was a leaking out where what you needed, you couldn't keep for yourself. It had to go out into the world, and go out into the world, and go out into the world. And you could watch the beauty and life springing up all around you. But meanwhile, you were barren, you were broken, you were desolate. You were whole, H-O-L-E. And that's when all these things came about and came in and began to plague and play tricks on your mind. And I'm telling you, you're never going to get what you want. That will never happen. That's a lot of what was going on. So this fair man has to do with being sucked dry, okay? And even he himself, it's been the sucking dry. It's probably that other person in this bit of bondage right here. Because they're that way because they're malnourished. They're sucked dry. You can tell they don't have anything left to give because they haven't even shaven their face. Their eyes aren't even aligned, going along the same page. The hair is kind of disheveled. It's someone who could care less. Okay. There was carelessness going on. And that's why there was the strong bond. It was so overstrengthened in order to try and regulate this energy, in order to try and like mitigate the situation going on here. But life has now stepped in. Like, I wish I had a boom card. They're kind of coming in like, there we go. They're like, boom, is coming across and it's saying, hey, look closely. You see what you're made of? You're made of diamonds. You're made of beauty. You're made of life. Cry no more, beautiful one. Cry no more. you amazingly strong person, you dynamic one, okay? So it's being set free from that pattern of tears, from the things that have worn streaks down your face, from the hard work, from other things controlling you and bringing you along, not necessarily on paths that you wanted to travel. But again, there was a divine destined element in that, as horrible and as wretched as it was. It was almost like to right, to upright, to right and to balance the energies of the ages. That could be planetary, but that could also be like generational curses in the family, of lineages, and some like to say past lives, things like that. It's bringing it all to balance to where you're whole in this lifetime, to where your family, to those around you, people that you love, are whole and balanced people. No more of this type of energy of being dominated, controlled, taken where you don't want to go, against your will, that type of thing. So I could see why the chakra was blocked, and that would be at the Golden Palace, the seat of the soul, your will, your central self. So how do we unblock that chakra? Well, you seem to have already answered that, because next comes in home. Finding home, seeing and knowing who you really are, and being welcome and open to it, and letting it begin to sprout and grow. Remember how they intervened? That water, that rain, that beauty, that diamond that you are, all that magic begins to, they're saying like in concert, they're saying like 15 words at once, so I don't even know how to make them into one word. But in concert would be the best way. All these things working together, these elements bringing it in together and aiming them at one audience, aiming them at one intent, one purpose. It's kind of like when bands play in the pit or whatever, they have that arc, that shell around them to bend the sound and merge it and to move it outward and to thrust it forward in this dynamic revelation of who and what you are. Well, leave it to you to make that amazing. Wow. And look at it. That's one moon's time. One moon's time. And your roots have begun to sprout and unfurl. And the magic, the new DNA, the knowing who you are now has begun to replicate and unfurl and to express itself in your life. And that brings about your home. A home that's dressed and beautiful. And you're like, it might be cute and quaint, but hey, it's a good place to start. And I agree, Pisces. That's a great place to start. And love is coming in. And then there's an open new horizon for what is yet to be seen. Okay? What is yet to be seen? The eyes appear like, I seen it. I see it for you. I'll bring it in. It's like your divine self going, don't worry about that, baby. I've got my eye over here for you. You just do this thing. You live these days out. You just be bright and cheerful and know that you're unblocked now, and who you are is beautiful and divine. And although, well, just the divine knowledge of that was destiny working it beyond our understanding. Okay, and that's why they're saying don't fret your mind, don't fret your head, don't let it continue to weary you any longer. You don't have to do that anymore. So next comes in 20, flying. Now that's a lot of magic there, Pisces. Look at all that. The freedom, the lightness, the delight, the magical energies and the synergies that being able to experience who you are and transform the world around you. It calls the hummingbird energy in. That's another form of resurrection. It's ancient resurrection, bringing up the unconscious into the subconscious, that you're no longer having to fight to not live out those patterns. You don't have to figure out how to escape it or how to get away from it, the it being that type of stuff. Remember the control, the hard work. That it comes about to be lyrical, to be symphonic, to be harmonic, all those beautiful things like the eye saying, I seen it for you, is taking care of it. And not even seen, past tense, meaning it's already done. It's already being done, being accomplished, being achieved. The moment the water of truth hits you and the beauty begins to spring up and you realize you won't understand what those things were. Move forward and step into the beauty and embrace and allow your spirit and your guides to take care of that part of it, and trust them as they move you forward into this. It's not a trick. It helps you overcome any deceit, any deception, any time wasting, any trickery. And not that labyrinths are that. They can be a working of your soul and of your energy in order to discover yourself. You already knew who you were. But because of how it played out, you thought you were wrong, and that's why you were weeping tears and everything. The world was benefiting from your tears. But now it's time for you to laugh. It's time for the joy, that jovialness. That's the thing that lifts you up over this labyrinth. It's not for you to travel and traverse anymore, going round and round and round. Magic is ready to mingle with you. And what comes in up above it but the rainbow? Look at there in our T card. The most difficult part of a situation is over. No more wondering. Wondering, are you enough? Are you lovable? Is it going to work out? Will you ever have a life? Will it get any better? Any of those ponderings, any of those musings and wonderings, no more. No more. Excuse me. That is odd. No more. The time is here and the time is now. So let's get a little card on this. What do I want to get? I'm going to get one of these. Let's give a forward motion to Pisces here about your beautiful self and your amazing life. And thank you for being strong and courageous to come through what obviously was intolerable and taxing and trying on you. So this is what they want you to know. 2 came out, so that's being bonded. That's this newness, the 20, right? The Fool for love, for the bond, for the genuine connection to come in. And this is what we got. We've got kingship, and we've got all things are possible, belief, genius. And genius means there is nothing wrong with you. You're perfect just the way you are, shaped exactly as you should be, radiant and bright. And they're like, you are connected. You always have been. And this is all your energy, love, power, and authority all coming in that divine connection. So I'm excited for you, Pisces. I love you. We'll talk soon. Bye.